Hi, I'm Kirstin Kelly and today's lesson is trotting the vertical. The benefit of trotting a vertical is it teaches the horse to be calm and relaxed. It's teaching him that he doesn't need speed to jump. He just needs to sit on his hindquarters and propel himself up. Visualize it as a weightlifting exercise. It's not an aerobics exercise which is quick and punchy. It's actually slow, methodical, and it teaches him to sit on his bottom and propel up. So it's actually really developing that strength so that he's sitting on his bottom. So when you make a mistake and you put him a little bit too deep, he's used to it because he has to rock his weight back. It's also a great exercise for trust because you learn to actually ride to the fence and not have to use speed. So it's a good idea for practice for patience, to teach the horse that he doesn't need to accelerate to get over the jump. It just is about rhythm. Okay, so we've got 2.5 meters to this. Okay, 2.5 steps. It is really good to measure it so that then you can walk it yourself and know exactly that you've got the right distance. We want a rail out the front and then a good substantial chunky rail here because we want him to be able to look at it and get his knees up. So we're going to start just trotting in. The benefits of this are massive, yeah? It really helps him get his shoulders back. So I want you to think about that nice even rhythm as he trots down to it. Keeping your chin up, your weight down into your heel. Good boy. Now notice how this horse trots in and then he does a little step of canter. There's two different ways that most horses will do it. They'll trot in, they'll go 1, 2, trot step, and then pull their knees up and jump the X. And that really is that weightlifting exercise. You get other horses who don't want to do that and will pop the little canter in, so they'll trot up to it and then just jump this bit. That is fine as well. Cantering into the rail is not. If they canter before the rail, they're using speed to get over the top of it. So I'm not so happy with that. And then of course you'd need to halt the horse and say to him, no, that's not good enough. Tiny bit more trot. So we're trotting in, same rhythm. So you can see the horse is not hurrying. He's sitting on his hind end. He's keeping that nice rhythmical trot. Good, the weight is down into the heels. That's right, yep, good idea just to say no, I'm not having that. Good, come again. So if that happens where the horse goes to rush forward, just like Rowan did, she said no, because the whole principle is the horse should stay in a rhythm. He should trot in, whoops. Good, give him a little pat on the neck, so it's okay. The height of this is all relative to the ability of your horse. I had a horse who was not very adjustable at the canter, but he was really good because he could do an emergency trot step and fix things when he needed to. And he could jump this at 1.30 meters. But most horses, I would say, get to about 1 meter, 1.5 meters, and that's all they'd need to do. Now, some of the problems that you have with this exercise is that the horses will rush. If they're rushing, just like Rowan did, she asked him to halt and then brought him back and came and did it again. The other thing is that you get them where they come and they go crooked. So instead of making this a vertical, then I would make it a high-armed X. And so when he's coming off the ground, he's drifting to his weak side, I would then immediately make it a high-armed X. See how I've just rolled the ground pole out one more roll though? Because the high-armed X just back them off a little bit and you want to just make it look a little bit softer. But this is good. See how he's just kind of flicked his ears? Good boy. And it helps keep him right in the center. Also, if your horse is a little slow off the ground, a little bit dangly in front, by making a higher armed X, it helps kind of keep him channeled in and pulls his little knees up as well. If the horse lands and he keeps pushing one way, like he's landing to the right, don't try to fix it with your reins. Get a nice flat plank and place it on the landing. Remember that if this was the landing rail, we would go 3 steps, not 2.5. And so where he is, say if he was drifting to the right and he was jumping this way, we would place this guide rail here on the ground so that then it's making an obstacle so that he's going to stay in the center of it. Remember, when a horse does something wrong in an exercise like this, by letting it go, you're actually encouraging him to just do that. So if he's jumping crooked, high arms, rail on the ground, and then that'll fix it, and then he's going to use his back correctly. If he's jumping and he's quite hollow, or he's jumping and he's flat, then I would put a plank on the landing. So I would have the 2.5 rail here on the trot side, and then on the landing side I would have a plank. Remember, never a rail that he could land on and roll away. It's always got to be a flat plank, and then that way it's going to encourage him to jump over the fence and drop his neck a little bit, so that it's encouraging him to use a shape. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kirstin Kelly Equestrian. And if you're enjoying this content, you could become a patron, and then you get to contribute to making these great videos, and you get great rewards.